Hello Dave is brought to you ad-free by my supporters on Patreon. Become a Patreon yourself and get your name listed as a supporter at the end of every video by following the link in the video description. Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Hello Dave with Down to Earth Astronomy. It is once again Monday, so it's time to see what's been going on for the last week. I have a very long list of talking points this week, so let's get right into it. In Elite, the most notable thing, of course, this week is the announcement and the teaser trailer of the 3.1 update. We now have a launch date, which is the 28th of June, which puzzled me a little bit, because a while back we have the Frontier Without said, 3.1 is closer than you think, and everybody expected it to be somewhere in Q2, which Q2 is then at the end of June, so this is 2 days before the end of the quarter, so I don't know if that would qualify as closer than you think. It seems like something happened that they had to delay. They might have had another launch day in mind, or maybe they were just referring to this teaser that was then coming out a few weeks later. So at least now we have a date, 28th of June is when it's going to come out. There's going to be no beta period for this. It's just going to be a straight up launch on all the platforms at the same time. So I already, last Friday, I had another of these roundtable talks together with Yamex, Obsidian, Peroxim, and Exesius, so of course myself. And we pretty much went over this in quite a bit of detail, talked about what we think about the new upcoming stuff and what's coming into the game. So I'm not going to go into a ton of detail with this, because I'll link it up here in the monthly icon, so you go and you can watch that. It's more like a podcast, so you can just listen to it while you do other things if you want to. But I just quickly want to run over some of the highlights. Of course, they have announced a brand new ship that we've never heard of, which is called the Challenger, which is going to be a lot like the Chieftain, only bigger. It seems to be, at least from the pictures that I've seen, seems to be bigger, more beefy one, and from the description it seems to be a more heavily armored one. So again, another ship focused a lot, I think, towards combat, and especially towards Thargoid combat. Chieftain has been very well received by the community, so it's going to be interesting to see if the Challenger can live up to the challenge, pun intended. So yeah, interesting, that thing's coming out. Then in the trailer, there was a quick, just a few seconds where you saw the engine exhaust from a ship that very much looks like the Crate. And I think most people agree that the Crate is probably going to come in this patch as well. Now, it's odd that they don't mention this. Maybe just doing it because everybody expects the Crate. We talked about this in live stream as well. Maybe just everybody's expecting the Crate to come out. So when they're announcing the Challenger instead in the teaser notes, then it creates a little bit more hype around the patch. So, but at least the Challenger is confirmed. Chieftain is still probably gonna come, but we don't know for sure. Then they're gonna add some new missions. They're gonna add wing mining missions. Expecting them to be very much like the Source and Return wing missions, where you can go out and mine in the wing. I'm personally looking forward to trying them, and yeah, always nice to see more multiplayer content coming into the game. And again, bunnies are being very noisy. Anyway, gonna be interesting to see, and especially because it's nice to see something happening on the mining front, because that has pretty much been still since the launch of Limpets. I think that was the last time anything major happens for miners. Then they had some announcements of new settlements and the installations. Now the installations, the difference I think between settlements and installations. Settlements is something on the surface much like Dav's Hope. So maybe we're going to see more stuff like this. Maybe it's something like the Inara Inra bases. Some people have theorized that it might have something to do with the more Thargoid related structures on the surface, but at least there's going to be more stuff on the surface of planets to go out and discover, which is going to be nice. It's going to be interesting to see what people find. Then installations. If you saw my, that would be latest video when it goes out, latest video about getting materials from this unauthorized installation, there's basically a ton of these scattered around the game. I think I've visited almost all of them now, and there is like 30 something that I've been able to locate. And the static structures, lots of them will have trespass zones around them, but some of them will not. There will in some cases be a single data point you can scan for data. Sometimes there will be some low-end materials floating around. But now they're gonna get the same game mechanic, it seems, as the same game mechanic as the megaships, where you can go up, you can scan it, and you have real data points, you can go and hack them. So that's going to be interesting to see how that all plays out, and especially if they're going to add trespass zones around more of them, because I did a video a while back where I talked about how you could get materials from the one of the megaships that was stranded in an anarchy system, and it's important that it was in an anarchy system because then you do not get wounded. Now I haven't actually run through the list of where all these installations are, but I would guess with that many that probably one of them would be in an anarchy system, and if that thing does not have a trespass zone, then you could potentially use that to get data. So maybe they're gonna add trespass zones around more of them. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see what happens with that when that comes out. But at least that means I'm gonna spend some time running around between installations again when that new patch comes out. Then we're gonna get some new Guardian tech, larger versions of the existing weapons. Not huge weapons, as far as I understand. It's not huge weapons. Some people have said, oh, they're looking forward to putting huge whatever thingies on their corvettes and cutters and stuff like that. Not gonna happen. I believe it's only large versions. If they're gonna be separate unlockable, or if they're just gonna be available when you unlock the main one, I don't know. Would guess it's gonna be a separate unlock, maybe. We'll have to again. We'll wait to see until we get a proper patch note. Then the frameshift drive boosters is gonna be introduced. These were briefly in the game. They were horribly bugged, apparently. So they were pulled out of the game, and then we're going to be redesigned and reworked until a later patch, which of course we're gonna get now. And the FSD boosters is, I believe, it's classified as a Guardian tech. It's a module that goes in your optional terminal, so same place as your shield generators and cargo holds and stuff like that. That increases your frameshift drive with up to 10 light years. For then of course, you're going to pay extra fuel. Now, one of the problems I think with the previous version was that the increase in fuel was simply too high. It was 225 additional fuel, so 225% of your normal fuel consumption, which is way too much, and makes the modules pretty much almost unusable in case of very special situations, I think. But so we're gonna have to see when they come back redesigned how much they're gonna penalize your fuel per jump. At least I hope it's not gonna be as much as it was previously. I would think 25 to 50% would probably be fair. So we'll see about that. At least that's gonna be interesting, especially for all the exploration and jumper condos out there and Diamondbacks that would suddenly be able to get a lot longer jump range. That means that now pretty much most bubble ships should now be able to be pushing 60 to 70 without any problems, and if you go stripped down, you would even be able to push 80 light years. So that's going to be very interesting. And then there was this strange message at the end, and there's been a lot of discussions and tinfoil hatting about what that meant at the end of that note that they posted. I really don't know what that means. I think it's the usual Frontier trying to do secret stuff. I mean, they've done that in the past where they put, in the patch note, they put something like, we have added secret stuff for you to go and find, like encouraging people to go out. So I think it's just, I think it's another one of those to try and create a bit more hype around the patch, of course. So that, I think, briefly covers the 3.1 launch on the 20th of June. I'll of course keep you updated in future Hello Daves. And if you want more detail, again, more info icon, there is the link for that live stream. Then you go and you can listen into that, and if you want our opinions on both of these things. Now, moving on to some YouTube news this time. YouTube has very recently made some changes to the way the subscription feed and which videos you get suggested, how that whole algorithm works. Previously, your subscription feed would just have been a historical order, like listed in the order the videos were posted, but they're not doing that anymore. They're now scrambling them around. They're trying to move the videos that you think you are more likely to watch at the top of your subscription feed, rather than just putting them in a chronological order, just like one after the other in the order they were posted. That have meant that a lot of people have no longer received and no longer seen videos from channels they subscribe to in the subscription feed. So some videos will just not be posted in the subscription feed altogether. I've experienced this myself. And even people who have notification turned on seems to have the same issue, where they would not even get the notification. So, I mean, if you go down, if you subscribe to the channel, next to it there will be a small bell icon. If you click that, you will get notifications. I believe you can set it up so you get either push notifications or emails or whatever, how you prefer it. But people haven't even been getting that. And I believe, I hope at least, that's a mistake from YouTube's side, and something they're going to correct. Some people seem to be able to resolve this by disabling the notifications and then going to the channel page and then disable notification from there. Then it seems to resolve it for some people. I haven't confirmed this myself, but at least if you have experienced things like that and you want to try and resolve it, you can try and do that. So at least, yeah, hope that's just a mistake that's going to be resolved, because it would really suck if YouTube is suddenly going to be deciding for people what they're going to watch or not. I know for YouTube it's just all about getting people to watch as many videos as possible, but if I'm subscribed to a channel that maybe only posts once a month, I would still want that thing to show up my subscription feed, even though I don't watch the channel that often, rather than the channel that might post daily that I probably watch a lot more. So at least I hope that that's something that's going to be fixed. Then, of course, previous week I didn't have a live stream on Tuesday because I was off on a business trip to Warsaw in Poland for just 2 days. Was a nice little trip. And yeah, that was. But that means that now we can move on to about the live streams coming up, because there's a lot of live streams that are coming up this week. I'm gonna have my own live stream tomorrow, and as usual, I haven't prepared anything. So at least at the time of this recording, which is Sunday, I have no idea what I'm gonna do. There's been a lot of stuff focused around the background simulation lately and the whole player faction. So I really want to begin doing something else on the live stream, because I know it's not something that all of you enjoy watching. So might do something different there. But again, I'll wait and see. Maybe I'm going to postpone that for next week, because we do have some quite interesting events coming up at the beginning of this week. So yeah, but I'll see what I'm up to tomorrow, and I hope you guys will tune in as well. It's going to be the same spot as usual at 7 o'clock in-game time, 9 o'clock Central European Summertime. Then, of course, as the last 2 Fridays, I've been participating in these roundtable talks that I already mentioned. Not sure if I'm going to be able to join. I mean, it seems like we're trying to make this a weekly thing every Friday at that time slot. What time is it we start? We start at 5 o'clock, I believe, 5 o'clock GMT, 5 o'clock in-game time. Which is really a bad spot for me, spending Friday afternoon on that, so, even though I do enjoy it. So it's not something I'm going to be joining every single week, but I will be joining as often as I can, as often as it fits into real life stuff as well. And don't know what the topic is going to be next week for the roundtable talk, but that's something we're going to discuss. But on Saturday, that should be on the 9th, if I recall correctly. Let me check it. Yes, that's on the 9th. On the 9th, Commander Plato is going to have his 24-hour live stream that he do about once a year, I think, where he collects money for a charity to cancer research. And just as last year, I'm going to join him for an hour or two on the live stream. So that's going to be on Saturday, and I believe I'm on at 8 p.m. and that will probably be Bridge. Is it GMT? I'm actually not 100% sure about the time slot. I'll have to check up about that, which time zone is. I know it's 8 p.m., but I'm actually not 100% sure of the time zone. So I probably have to check up on that. But at least that's probably gonna, if you go, I'll probably announce that on Discord as well when I go live and when the whole thing starts. So yeah, that's gonna happen as well. But I believe that that's it. At least that's the end of my talking notes for this week. And so yeah, I'm gonna call it here. I hope you liked today's video. If you did, give a like down below, subscribe to the channel, and until next time, I'll see you guys in space.